Oh my goodness, guys. Let's just get started with this fair use commentary. Katie the Joy is pressed and distressed and restless. Okay. Tonight, and I'm looking at, time zone wise, everybody might be in different time zones, whatever. August 6th, August 7th, depending on when you watch this, whatever that may be. Katie the Joy has posted and attacked, going after various content creators, okay? Now, I initially was like, it seems like Katie the Joy is trying to do right by the situation, whether you like her or not. Even though I'm not a fan of Katie the Joy. I said that I don't necessarily appreciate her, especially just the track record that she has had here on the YouTube streets. Just it's not a good one. Okay, it's not a good one, and I feel like it's been pretty much solidified, right? Because she went about posting people's backgrounds on YouTube, or excuse me, on Facebook. She posted, the biased family's backgrounds. I think was just a shitty move on her part, which kind of makes me wonder too. Like, does she have a PR consulting team? Because she constantly comes on camera to defend herself on Facebook. And so it makes me wonder, yeah, so with all this money that you make on YouTube, you should really consider hiring a PR team, crisis intervention, manager YouTube team, somebody that can kind of help you understand some etiquette in this situation. I don't know. It is what it is. So I was reading and watching at the same time. As we speak right now, Katie of the Joy was live, okay? Well, she, during this time that we were speaking, decided to, private that live. Let me show you that screenshot. I'm sure it probably won't be able to play it anymore here, but let's screen share it. This was going around the same time as I'm pre-recording this right now. See if I hit play and what happens, okay? And in this little situation, she's just kind of expressing, an email, I guess, that she received from CC Suarez, another YouTuber content creator with a bigger platform, a huge following as well. Shout out to her. And we're going to outline those details because there's something in there that she wrote that I want to make sure I put out there as well, so she's aware. Another content creator by the name of CC Suarez with 84.5k subscribers, okay? She's definitely, she said a couple of things here on her community tab. Things are about to get spicy. That's what she said. So in this specific Facebook Live, she put on private, and as I'm recording this, I thought, okay, cool, I'm going to be able to make commentary. If I hit play, let's see what happens.
Not everything that Charlotte says is true, and not everything that CeCe says is true. And I always clarify if I have an opinion. So, okay. Good night.
You see how quickly it kicked me out of that? It's no longer available. Let's see if I can reload it again. Oh, so she went live, and mind you, as I'm recording this pre-recorded, Ella B is live. She went on her Facebook and started talking about this email that she received from CC Suarez. Let me go ahead and remove this and show you what I'm talking about right now. So Chelsea Suarez, known as CC Suarez here on YouTube, wrote this email to Katie of the Joy. And it reads, statements regarding Without a Crystal Ball. Good evening, Katie. I'd like to give you the respect in letting you know I'm working on a video in regards to some of the controversies you've been involved in during your time on YouTube. The following are some of the topics I will be discussing: doxing, harassing, threatening other creators. Guys, this is not the first time I've heard that. Listen, I'm just a little content creator over here. We haven't hit our 10K quite yet. We hope to get there one day. Shout out to all our supporters. Maybe my voice isn't as loud as all these bigger content creators, but hey, I've heard this, that this is her track record. It doesn't matter if you're at 5 or 100 or 300K. Like, she'll go after anybody. That's what I've heard. That's what the word on the street is here on the YouTube. When another creator calls out your behavior, your response typically involves digging into their tax information, past behaviors, or even their private family members' lives. Ooh, to me, when she looked into Letitia Bias's stuff, yeah, not just content creators, even those that aren't content creators, that's what made you look like shit by doing that. I'm just being honest with you, Katie the Joy. Giving you a heads up. Claiming to have sources close to the topic you're covering that may not be legitimate in order to legitimize the information you're presenting. A lot of what I saw that you were presenting, the cropped and the chopped and the karate chop receipts that you present, I would have to second that. It's very sus that we have to go and put those together and figure out the narrative in between. Hey, just saying. Repeatedly copyright strike and copyright claiming other creators' content regardless of Fair Use Act. Some content creators overdo that. They do strike, and part of it is very much malicious. It could be to obtain your information, which I've had that done to me a couple times. And they do that in order to dox you, to dig into your background. People will do that. People are very malicious here when they feel like you are a competition to them. Okay. The claims you made regarding Tati Westbrook's husband, that I think that was a huge case for Katie of the Joy, which is why I've known her. Other than that, I don't follow her on the other stuff, quite honestly. She's, to me, it's a little bit of a snooze when it comes to Katie of the Joy. I'm being honest. All right. During the Shane Dawson investigation, directing people to call the LA Sheriff's Office and speak to a deputy detective who hadn't worked for the Sheriff's Office for years. What was the point of that? Katie of the Joy claims that you have made no money from the numerous YouTube videos and Facebook live streams regarding the Vaughn McRae situation. Yeah, you've made money. We've established that. You got ads all over the place, girl. Don't lie. Don't lie. Claims that you have weaponized your following against other creators. I haven't. There's probably people out there that have experienced that. Again, I'm not anywhere near the numbers that a lot of these people are at. I'm doing content and just doing my opinion and fair use, okay, and giving maybe a logical perspective at that. Speculation that you are the individual behind a YouTube channel by the name of Nonsense using a voice changing filter. Okay. CC Suarez, shout out to you. Love your channel. I've been in communication with that content creator. That content creator is actually someone who has a blog on Facebook. I've shared with their information now here on my page. Matter of fact, they gave me a recording to use for the purposes to make sure that people were aware that they're in no way Katie of the Joy, okay? And even though Katie of the Joy has shared their stuff a couple of times, they are not them. And they wanted to make sure that I cleared that because we did, go back and forth on that a little bit. They're new to they just opened up a channel. They're new to the creator game. If anybody follows CC, or if you guys watch, if you guys just give her the heads up, Nonsense gave me a voice recording because this was coming up, and I said, listen, in my next upload, I'll help and clear that information.
I'll send you a voice clip. You can even play them if you want.
And here she's telling me she's going to send a voice clip to let people look. This is Nonsense voice, okay? They are using a filter, but this is their voice.
I'll send you a voice clip. You can even play them if you want. Hey, y'all, this is Nonsense. Definitely not KJ.
There you go. Let me play it one more time.
Hey, y'all, this is Nonsense. Definitely not KJ.
And then she says, Nonsense says, there, if you need to, you can play that too, LL. Of course, I'll figure out a way to say that it's not me messaging you. Okay, let me play it one more time, guys.
Hey, y'all, this is Nonsense. Definitely not KJ.
And again, Nonsense has a Facebook page. This is them. Okay, minimize that. This is them. This is their page here. Okay, they have a YouTube channel. They're not monetized. They kind of came into YouTube trying to clear some of the misinformation that was spewing. One thing I had told Nonsense, I can see why Nonsense is getting a lot of the pushback. It's because, first of all, to report here on YouTube, you would have to report both sides. And personally, I think that, we could see that both sides, KJ and Molly, are not doing right by this family, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people feel that way as well, that they haven't been doing right by this family whatsoever. But let's continue reading the email from CC Suarez that K of the J, Katie of the Joy, is sharing on her Facebook. If you would like to give a statement on any of these topics, I would be happy to add it to my video. There's no obligation to respond if you don't find it necessary. I will not be stating anything as a fact if it cannot be backed up with hard proof evidence, and will remain professional and assertive. I'm purely reaching out of courtesy. You know what? Shout out to CC Suarez. And let me tell you why. She didn't have to reach out to KJ. She did not have to reach out to Katie of the Joy whatsoever. She could have just done her video. She's asking for a statement, which honestly, we're YouTubers. I've had videos done on me. Not everything's been accurate. Half of the things are false. But I've never gotten asked for a statement. If people ask me for a statement, that'd be great. I would love to. That way I can, give a different perspective or a different side. Just my thought. Shout out to CC Suarez, who, did reach out and say, hey, do you want to give a statement? What are your thoughts about this? Because I think that's a courtesy. She didn't have to do that whatsoever. So I don't understand. I guess I don't understand why even post this out there. Katie of the Joy, girl, I think one thing that some stories, you just have to let them go. Elsa, let the shit go. Let it go, Elsa, because honestly, it just doesn't suit you. You have multiple creators going after you for so many things. And honestly, they have viable reasons to feel this the way that they do. Now, I showed that she just put a live that she was doing while I'm recording this on private. Well, she just unprivated it and put it back on her Facebook. Let's go watch that ish right now. All right, come on, Katie the Joy. You're taking too long for me.
I don't have a ton to speak about, but there's just been so much ridiculousness happening that
for the record, you've participated in the ridiculousness, in my opinion. I feel like you've played a huge role in this ridiculousness that has been happening. You're going after people. You're doxing the LB lady with her big platform that, does this for a living. I think you do this for a living as well. So I guess I'm just trying to understand, when you deliver, when you give ridiculousness, you're going to get ridiculousness back. Just saying, man, it's the rule of life, just saying.
I just like to come on and try to address things. I don't like to make my pages about drama. I don't like to make my page about responding to my personal drama or to attacks on myself and responding to people attacking me. Listen, I am keenly aware.
Come on, hurry up.
It's all about if you put yourself out there, people have a right to speak about you. And have a right to
they do
whatever they want to say.
Yes, they do.
I'm never going to prevent someone from saying anything that they want to say about me.
Okay.
I also have nothing to hide in my background. People keep saying to me, well, what about your personal history or your criminal record? I don't have a criminal record other than a DUI from 2003, which I'm totally honest about. haven't had a ticket since. It's
Okay.
been almost 20 years. And that is not relevant to me reporting at all. In the case of this situation, criminal records matter. And a lot of the cases I cover, criminal history matters. And a part of my job is I evaluate and look at public records. Because when you're reporting on something,
She said criminal records matter. Evaluating things matter. So I go back to when she started with the story. She didn't start evaluating the story from the get by looking at quote unquote public records. Like she didn't ask Letitia, all right, Letitia, a condition of my reporting your story, you must not have a criminal record. A condition of my reporting and telling the story, you must not have done ish in your life. Okay, you must be a peachy queen mom, get it together mom. A condition of this. It didn't start that way. It didn't. So starting with this explanation is bullshit, Katie of the Joy. This is not okay and not acceptable. So I'm telling you, I'll give you anything. I'll sell you the tamales that I have in my fridge right now and bet you that people aren't buying this ish. They're not. They're not. Let's go.
Unless it's a documented, reported police report or a court record or a judgment or a filing, a lot of the other, or a property deed, I mean, that's factual information that you can present. That's a receipt you can show. So looking for that information in any story is important. And why a lot of times in criminal cases, people don't cover cases until there's criminal charges, until there's an arrest, until there's a warrant, until there's literally something that's provable. So getting attacked for the way that I report is nothing new, and having a hate group that follows me and stalks me and harasses me is also not new. This has been going on for as long as I've been on YouTube. And what I'm trying to put out today is to show you guys that the players in the story that you're looking at are people that have been harassing me for years.
I don't think I've been harassing her at all, and I'm concerned with her reporting. I don't like the way she approached the situation, and I'm giving her commentary. I'm not inciting anybody to go after this woman. Please don't do that whatsoever. But let's go. Let's continue to move on.
And I've made mistakes with Leslie going back 3 years ago, and Leslie and I have literally had the same conversation a million different ways, but she never stops attacking me, and I don't address it on my channel, and I don't ever, rarely even talk about her. So when I see that her moderators are harassing my followers, I'm going to say something, because first of all, it's just really low.
Why are you calling her Leslie? And I believe she's talking about Ellaby. See, yo, her name, as you would know her on YouTube, is Ellaby. I don't even agree with half of the ish that's she's done with Molly and Justin and all these other people, but damn, her name is that. You call her as such. Why are you calling her by her legal name? Like, what gives you the right? Her YouTube name, her stage name is Ellaby. Have some fucking respect, girl. Like, what?
Anyone to be contacting anyone's followers, spamming them, and trying to direct people away from another creator. All of our creators are adults, or all of our followers are usually adults, and they have the right to make their own decisions on who they follow. And if they don't want to follow someone based on someone else's reporting of them, that's, everyone's an adult and they can make a decision on who they like and who they don't like, right? My putting out the email from CC Suarez, which was really weird because I guess yesterday she was on a live and she's in with Charlotte on the web. And so Charlotte on the web, if you're not clear about her, is a creator that has dedicated almost her entire channel to exposing me and has dug into almost every aspect of my life. And listen, I've never tried to sue her. I've never struck her channel. I've never done anything. Mostly I ignore Charlotte because Charlotte puts out information about me that's 100% false, almost 99% of the time, and feeds into wild conspiracies about me. Her channel has been built on
I've seen is it Charlotte on the web? Shout out to Charlotte on the web. I've seen a couple of her lives, and I think that she is exposing what Katie of the Joy has done to her and her experience and experiences with numerous other people, as well as talking about the Duggars, Todd Chrisley, all these, things that play into part as to what role Katie of the Joy has played here. I want to be very clear, okay? When you are a YouTuber, and this is what I've learned, that the higher a number you go, you're going to have other content creators speak on you, especially if you've, as a bigger content creator, have played a role in harassing anybody. And what I've gathered from what Charlotte on the web has shared is that has been the case, that she's been a victim of this woman. How does a person that victimizes people help and report stories about victims, especially people that are cult survivors? I don't understand that balance. And yet I hardly hear her take any accountability for the things that come out of her mouth. I don't know the lady from Charlotte of the Web. Shout out to her. Make sure you guys check out her channel. I think we have opposing views about Molly Golightly, and that's fine. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go and drag Charlotte of the Web. Clearly, she's been exposing Katie of the Joy for several years because she's done her wrong. Let's keep watching.
Just false information about me. And so I'm told that CeCe likes Charlotte. And so she's going to now expose me, and she's sending me things of claims from 3+ years ago. So if you've got someone that you've had following you around for years, and it's a group of people, and they find new creators every 5 months to expose you based on the same false information, you would maybe be a little bit irritated when someone is fed the same false information over and over and over again. And you're like, listen, I didn't have a problem with you, CeCe. I don't even know who you are, really. I've seen a couple of her videos on MLMs, and I saw that she had done some videos on Andrea. But beyond that, I don't subscribe to her. I don't follow her. I've never seen her, like, until today, I had never seen her Instagram. Like, I don't.
This is annoying. There's an ad. And she could still do content on you regardless if you follow her or don't. It doesn't mean that you're on YouTube. You're a bigger platform than she is. A lot of us do that. I've done content on several platforms.
And when
several
I'm told
content
by
creators,
multiple people that she's active on Reddits that are hate Reddits against me, she's actively collaborating with or talking to creators that have twisted information about me for years, that tells me that there's no interest in her reaching out to me for anything of truth. And the fact that she's sending me an email with claims that are provably false, and if she just did a minute amount of research, she would know it was false. It's just highly unprofessional to email someone a false.
Wait a minute. Her sending you an email is highly unprofessional. I mean, I would think that her not sending you an email and just doing content on you would be highly unprofessional. That's my opinion, guys. I don't know. Like, CeCe didn't have to send her anything. CeCe didn't have to do anything. CeCe, do your thing, girl. You didn't have to do anything. And now she's calling you highly unprofessional for what? She's sharing with you your track record. Are you disputing the facts that, I mean, you've doxed Ella B. You're sharing Ella B's name. Nobody needs to know her name. Nobody's lying on you, girl. Nobody.
False claim and ask them to comment on it. Her job as a reporter would be to verify if the claim is true first and foremost before you present that information to the subject, because the claim, several of the claims she's said to me are just provably false. Like, if she wants to see my dashboard and sees how little I actually strike people, have at it. She can have access to my dashboard. I literally rarely ever strike anyone, ever, because I just don't care. If I struck people, I would be striking Charlotte like every day, and I don't.
I want to see your raise your hand if you want to. Don't even raise your hand because I can't see your guys' hands. Put a rabbit on the chat if you would want to see that dashboard, because I definitely do. I'm just curious. I'm nosy about that. I want to see if you're really, walking the walk and talking the talk about what you're saying. Because, I mean, hey, why not? You offered it. I want to see the dashboard. Let's check it. Let's go. Screenshot it. Put it on the Facebook. Plaster it all over. Do your thing. Do it.
I would be striking all these creators that talk about me, and I never do. I hardly ever respond to them because I don't care. I just don't like that every time a news story pops up, instead of the focus being on what we're covering, people in this hate group turn it around on me. And all I'm trying to do is tell you guys, like, listen, you can like who you want to like, but this is the history I have with these people. And this is why they're saying what they're saying about me. And they haven't been truthful. Like Leslie will consistently say, oh, you pulled her financials, or you did this, or you did that. Leslie's done more to me than I can even care to explain. And
See, it's the fact that you're calling her Leslie that just right there, you did not have to do that. She's done more to you than what? Like, I'm trying to understand this. What? I don't know, guys. If you guys have a difference of opinion, if you agree with what she's saying, I will not feel, you're not hurting my feelings over that whatsoever. I'm just calling the ish how I see it. I'm just seeing the hypocrisy here a little bit, just a little bit, but let's go.
done so much more to me that has been so false and off the wall that it's like, you pulled her financials. I only looked into her bankruptcy and lawsuits after the fact that she falsely accused me of child abuse and was going publicly with all of these false allegations against me. And we had been working together. And I'm like, why is she having a fundraiser? And is there a financial motive here? And I found the bankruptcy and I said, she has a bankruptcy. And that turned into you dug into my financials. No, I literally saw that you were going in a bankruptcy. That was it. And then when her police arrest was posted online, literally online, then it was, I'm digging into her police records. But yet this is a woman that has posted and talked about my rape. She's discussed my rape allegations, and she's accused me of lying. She has gone as far as to publish every lawsuit that's ever been filed against me. She has accused me of child abuse. She has falsely accused me of planting drugs in her car.
Now I want to see receipts, guys. I mean, you're making a lot of allegations, and that's one thing that you suck at. Like, I'm just noticing, how does a blogger with over 300K, how does she just make allegations like that and not post any receipts? That's the biggest concern that I have right here. My God, I completely paused it at the wrong time. But anyways, you have to. If she's done this to you, you have to post something. You have to say, like, you can't just make allegations like that about anybody. I don't know. Just my thoughts.
Falsely accused me of setting her up for being arrested, which the charges were later dropped. She falsely accuses me of just about any.
Wait, I can't get over this. She falsely accused me of getting her arrested, which the charges were later dropped. How did that happen? What? What? I don't know.
Anything where I'm telling you to the point that we used to have a joke on my channel that if something bad happens in Leslie's life, she would find a way to accuse me. I live in Minnesota. She lives in Louisiana. I've never met the woman in my life. And I would have, like, it would be impossible for me to plant drugs in her car. Right before Christmas in 2019, she went live and told people that I struck her channel, and I didn't. I never struck her channel. I literally woke up to a shitstorm because overnight, in the middle of the night, she went live and accused me of having Munchausen's by proxy, which is accusing someone of child abuse. I don't have Munchausen's by proxy.
Pause right there, Katie the Joy. I want to have you pause right there, because I go back to those messages, the communication that you had with Admin Tony. Admin Tony, you told her, I guarantee it, that Dre has Munchausen by proxy. You put it, let me show that screenshot right there, because there's no lie here. We actually show receipts here. You had this communication, and you said that Dre has this. I guarantee it. Danger. Why are you doing that? Why would you do that? You don't like it done on you, but you're doing it, and that was your investigation of Dre McCray. You did it to Dre. What the? What?
My child is not being abused, and a lot of people reported her channel, and YouTube took the video down for community guidelines. And then privately, Leslie admitted to me that she deserved the strike. And I have put out those text messages a million times. I've put out all of our conversations, which show that Leslie has used her moderators to contact people that are connected to me to turn them against me. I've put out all of this, and none of this is stuff that I do to her. I don't care about Leslie, and I've asked her to move on. We've had so many conversations privately where everything is fine, and she agrees to let it go, and then she turns around and like comes for me whenever she can make money.
Girl, but she wasn't talking about you. She hasn't been like guys, I've been watching these videos. One thing I will say, and I will agree, even though you guys don't know, you guys know I do not like Molly whatsoever. I don't agree with what Molly or Justin or Ella B are doing in this case whatsoever. I don't. Okay? But I've seen it happen during their lives where Katie the Joy is coming in because she posted some salacious shit. You posted about Ella B first. It wasn't the other way around. If you really are done with somebody, you fucking let it go. Let it go, Elsa. Like I said it. Let it go. You don't keep going back and forth, especially if it's so traumatic and abusive to your mental health. It doesn't make sense. You can't be the one to say, I'm a victim, and then continuously go after and victimize others, if that makes sense. I see this person reminds me of somebody that we're dealing with right now, that just, I don't know, these traits, these traits of personality is a little too much for me.
Charlotte has no motive to actually be honest about me because she makes money on my name. Leslie has no motive to be honest about me because her channel has been built on haters of mine. And so she will say anything about me because it makes her money. And I don't care. I don't care if she makes $1 million on me. None of these videos that any of these people have made have stopped my channel from growing, have stopped me from continuing with my business, and have stopped this platform from being taken down.
So why commentate about it? What's the point? Why even say anything? Why don't you just let the shit be? I mean, numbers speak for themselves. If it hasn't stopped you, then why even breathe it? Why?
No matter how hard they try. And I don't like to play these games of back and forth. So when someone says to me, well, you said that Charlotte was arrested and lost her kids and she's on probation and she's a felon. Yeah, she is. That's all true. And Charlotte has dug into every facet of my life.
And what does that matter? Like, how does, and if it happened, how does Charlotte's arrest play a role into this situation? Like, what? Why is that important? I guess I don't understand. Like, why are people's background? Because it's not like you're making a story about Charlotte, right? As a content creator, you're not. Why is that important? Like, help me understand that, especially when you're a platform of over 300K. And I believe Charlotte, I think, shout out to her. She's grown her platform. Shout out to that lady. But why is her arrest important? Girl, hustle, do your thing. Why is it important? Why? I just, sorry, and I'm repeating myself because I'm really trying to understand the why behind this. But hey, let's go.
So what everyone says to me, Katie, what goes around comes around. It's true. Charlotte, what goes around comes around. So if you're going to accuse me of abuse, neglect of my children, and you lost custody of your own kids, and you have a felony, and you're on probation right now related to that, like, dude, glass houses. Charlotte plays a very good game on YouTube and plays the victim and like acts like everyone's doxing her when they talk about her life. But then when she goes on her channel, she has no problem. She's talked about my rape. She's talked about all these things, police records, every court document related to me. She's all put that out there. I haven't put anything other than she's a felon that's on probation, and they're here. You can look her up on the Kentucky parole board. She's like listed as an offender. That's her life, not mine.
But why is it important to talk about her life? How does, if Charlotte on the web was a story that I was covering, right? Like, how does this play a role into this? This is what I don't understand. This lady's ridiculous. I'm just saying.
So why is someone who has that on her history criticizing my life, where I've never been accused legitimately of child abuse? I've never lost my child. I've never had anything related to children neglect, period. but then she consistently accuses me of child neglect on her channel. So, like, if you're going to come for me, like, I can respond and I will. If you're going to.
But some of us are giving commentary. You know what I'm saying, guys? Like, I'm giving commentary to her because she's made herself the subject of this story. None of this has to do with Vaughn McCrae. This is about the conflict that she has amongst all these content creators. And you kind of have to look at the numbers to figure this out. There was a comment that was left on one of the other videos who said, you know, Katie the Joy might be right to a certain degree about what's happening here with the Vaughn McCrae situation. And she might very well be, but because she has screwed a lot of people over based on what I've seen, you know, it's hard for anybody to feel any type of empathy or compassion for this woman because she doesn't reciprocate the same. Even when she expresses herself about Letitia Bias, who's not a content creator, whether you agree or don't agree with what's going on with her, she didn't have to come for her like that. There's some people that you don't need to come for, period. You really don't, because they don't have a platform to defend themselves. And this woman, it's like, you're not CNN News. You're not a Barbara Walters. You're not Oprah. You're not any of these personalities. You're on YouTube. And you've made a hefty living off of it. But there has to be a balance. You can't just go about doxing and trying to make yourself and prove a point.
Gonna pull records on me. Like, I'm a reporter. I can do that right back. That doesn't mean that I'm weaponizing my platform against you. The same people that cry that
You're a YouTuber. We're all YouTubers. You're a YouTuber that reports on celebrity gossip or reality TV gossip. That's what you are. A YouTuber. A U to the tube. That's what you are.
I've done this to them are doing it to me. It's stupid. And I don't know why I'm even interesting. All I'm doing is making videos on the Duggars and Sister Wives 90% of the time and talking about fundamentalism and cults and letting people that have gone through religious trauma share their experiences and providing information on predators that are in these religious cults. Like, none of that is bad reporting. None of that's wrong. Like, and they like to point out my lawsuits where I'm being literally sued by a man that was convicted of fraud for defrauding and stealing $30 million from banks. He's facing 30 years in prison. And then they'll say, but his lawsuit against you has nothing to do with the federal charges. Yes, it has everything to do with the federal charges, because the alleged extortion, whatever that he's talking about in that lawsuit, was literally brought up in his federal case. And they provided emails and evidence.
Girl, everybody's suing you. Everybody.
He's being sentenced to prison in October, and he's facing 30 years.
So
no, I'm not worried about that. I'm
okay.
also not worried about the other lawsuits.
I'm just trying to figure out how all this plays into this.
One lawsuit, and it's all together, and they're all suing me at the same time. And again, not worried about it, because again, everything was factually reported based on records, and there's.
If you're not worried about it, then why are you explaining it? Do you see what I'm saying? Somebody that's not worried about something, you don't explain it.
Proof for everything. So I'm not here to deal with petty bullshit from YouTube from years ago, which has been dissected and discussed so much on YouTube, to the extent that my followers, every time they see a new creator covering this, they're like, what the hell are you doing? This is so old. This isn't even true. And so when someone like CeCe reaches out to me and she's like, I just want to give you a chance to respond to this, things that she's asking me about, I've responded to a million times. And none of the things that she's accusing me of or the claims that I'm being accused of are true. And the fact that she wants to somehow tie me to the nonsense channel. What is the nonsense channel doing? The nonsense channel is actually trying to show people what they perceive to be as fraud related to the GoFundMe and all of the fundraising surrounding the Vaughn McCrae story.
I think the nonsense channel is not so much that, and I mean, they can speak for themselves. Like I said, they are not connected. They're not tied. I've already showed you guys the voice recording to help with that. But hey, man, we'll still have the conspiracy theories out there. Do your thing. Conspiracy theory all over the place. Whatever. I don't care. I don't know. And we can't really say that that's what they're necessarily doing. And I think Nonsense would need to speak on that on their channel, I think that they're just trying to bring clarity to the situation and not necessarily get into the weeds of what's fraud and what isn't and stuff like that. I think that they're just trying to give us a different perspective. So I don't think that that's Katie of the Joyce's place to even speak on them. They need to speak on their own because they came to YouTube to clarify the mess. Let them do their own clarifying.
They're putting out their receipts, all the information that they have. I am not them and I have nothing to do with them. But why would she care that I'm that? Is she not worried about what could be potential fraud in fundraising? Is this just a way to deflect away from the fact that that nonsense is doing something that she doesn't want them to do, and she doesn't want to look at what could be potentially fraudulent fundraising? I don't know.
See, and that's not cool because you don't know what CeCe is just responding. CeCe is giving you the opportunity to respond to give a statement, which in my opinion, again, is a courtesy. She didn't have to do that. Not at all. And half the time, half the content creators don't. You either take the courtesy or you don't. I don't get it. What's the big deal? I would love for somebody to reach out to me and say, hey, Rabbit, I'd like to give you the courtesy to respond to X, Y, and Z. Okay, cool. I either do it or I don't. Like, why make it a big deal?
I'm not the story here, and I'm not nonsense. And then she said, well, you need to make claims that you didn't make money on this story. Has she made money on this story? Last time I checked, she's a monetized YouTube channel. I have never said that my channel isn't monetized. I've said that repeatedly, that my channel is monetized. I've repeatedly said that I've got a monetized Facebook page. And I've also said that I've donated money to people, including the father, the ex-husband of Andrea McCrae. What I do on my platform is my business, just like her business, which is kindly and assertively a business.
That wasn't petty at all. Kindly and assertively. Okay.
You're not going to tell me that she's making these videos out of the kindness of her heart because she's making no money. That's not how YouTube works. Everyone on YouTube that's doing this for their full-time job, this is a job. It's not a hobby. And that this is a LLC business for me. So I'm not interested in this like petty back and forth. And I'm also not interested in responding to claims that are so old, so false, and so tired.
So why even respond to them now? See, the thing is what she's doing here, and this is what bothers me, I think, what a lot of people don't like and don't appreciate about Katie of the Joy. You know, you're coming in here and you say you don't want to, you're not going to be petty, you're not about the drama, yet you're bringing this BS about this other content creators. You're doxing Ella B, giving up her name. Then you're also bringing up Charlotte's information that why is that relevant? You don't fight fire with fire. If you're truly not wanting to continue, you don't fight fire with fire, if that makes sense. Yeah, you can defend yourself. I mean, I do it all the time. But sometimes I guess you guys, you have to pick your battles carefully, just saying.
It's ridiculous. And then at the very end, she's telling me, I want to know if you're connected to nonsense and I want to know about the money. It's obvious it has to do with this story. And it's obvious that there's something about the way that I'm covering this story that she doesn't like. And I don't know what that is, but it shouldn't matter. Everyone's entitled to have an opinion on a story.
I don't think anybody likes, personally, I don't like the way in which Molly or these other people are covering the story. I don't like the way in which Katie of the Joy has been covering the story. I don't like it. I don't. I've expressed that. I think it's very disrespectful. I think that it's very clickbaitish. I think that these people were all monetized. Shit, my video's monetized. But there's a way to go about things a little bit more respectful. And none of these creators have done it personally. It's been very sad to watch shit go down the way it has.
And I'm not going to come for her and say like, well, you did this, 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 and this, because I frankly don't care. I don't know anything about this girl at all. But the fact that she's talking to Charlotte, that's weird. And if you're using Charlotte as your source, if you're using Leslie Bass as your source, if you're using Steve McCrae, if you're using Augie, if you're using any of those hate channels, the subreddit, all of that's false. I want to tell you something. Todd Chrisley used those same people as sources. And you know what just happened this week? His podcast company pulled down every single podcast he made about me.
Is that based off of what was said about you? You're saying that somehow correlation, that this correlation is causation? I guess I'm confused by the thought process behind here. I don't know. I'm confused by how she's saying the cause is what correlates to this. Okay.
Because the information he disseminated on his podcast about me was false and defamatory. Every episode that he has made where he talks about me on his podcast, gone. And if it hasn't been removed, it's in the process. Not allowed to talk about me ever again on his podcast. So here's the deal. Like, people keep saying, like, he used those exact same sources. He used the subreddit. He got information from Steve. He got information from Leslie. He got information from all these haters. And all of these same people, mind you, I'm suing Todd Chrisley for defamation. All of those same people that provided him information. Yesterday, in a letter to his attorneys, we requested all the communication between Todd Chrisley and all creators that he spoke to about me. So if you were a creator and you spoke to Todd Chrisley and you provided him information about me that led to the defamatory content that he made, your communications will be given to us.
Well, that's not us. That's not us over here. Just saying.
So if you are doing this and you're actively sending him things, we'll find out. And then we'll know who's doing this and sending this to other creators. It's not like so much of the crap you guys are telling these people is easily provable, and you're finding people that are mad at me and you're just ramping them up based on lies. And then you're supporting someone like Todd, who was just convicted of stealing $30 million from a bank. Multiple banks, by the way. And it's not even an allegation anymore. It's factual. It's factual in a court of law that he is a convicted felon and facing 30 years in prison for defrauding banks of $30 million and defrauding the U.S. government of taxes and defrauding conspiracy to defraud the United States over his tax evasion. Everyone wants to call this a tax evasion case. No, Todd Chrisley stole $30 million from banks.
Okay.
That's why he's going to prison.
Anyways, guys.
And that's why he'll go to prison for
let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments.
So that's it. I don't it's just going to be the repeat with Todd. So if people are going to keep regurgitating this stuff, that's why we're going to get the information. And the discovery letter that we sent is for every bit of communication he's had with any of you. And the fact that CeCe is looking at the same crap and talking about the same shit, I know she's talking to the same exact people. And that's why I told her that my lawyer would be in touch with her. I don't have any interest in suing her. I just need her to know who she's dealing with. And I'm not I didn't care about Todd Chrisley until he got arrested. I don't cover people that aren't doing bad. I don't cover people for the sake of covering people. I don't go into business to expose people. I cover reality television. I cover a cult, and I cover Sister Wives, which is also a cult.
I don't know, guys. I don't. Every word out of her sentence in her mouth is, I don't do this. I don't do that. But then how do you find yourself in situations like this? I think that's the point, right? It's hard to really feel any empathy personally, because she doesn't, yet she finds herself in here, and then she's very passive aggressive. She's a nice, nasty person. You're very nice, nasty. This is too much.
People that are doing legitimately bad things to people. I look like a fool.
Gotta fast forward through all of this.
No, you're lying about Leslie. Leslie's covered every lawsuit. She's contacted Todd Chrisley. She's attempted to interfere in every part of my life. Well, if CeCe knows her rights, then she should know that she shouldn't be involved in the people that she's involved with.
Is this true? Every season, it's always a Katie Joy season. Katie of the Joy. And it's Katie of the Joy.
Not everything that Charlotte says is true. And not everything that CeCe says is true. And I always clarify if I have an opinion.
So why does it bother you? Does it take away from your viewers? Does it take away from your subscribers? At the same time, it's well, not everything that you say is true. It's just weird. This is weird. This woman is weird.
Everyone's laughing at me. Well, that's good. I actually have a lot of supporters.
Okay.
This is so funny. Goodbye. Leslie Bass was on a live stream asking for Todd's phone number and called his phone number. Leslie Bass and her moderators have reported me for a lot of different things that I haven't done. It's really not funny.
Yo, she really does pay attention about who laughs at her, who hits the smiley laughing icon here. That's crazy. Why?
And one of the people that got involved with this hate group was arrested for stalking.
God, this is just too much.
I didn't say there was a ruling that Todd can't talk about you. I said that his podcast company removed all podcasts about me, and my name can't be talked about on his podcast anymore.
Okay, well, good for you.
Some of you guys I've never even seen before. Okay, good night.
Okay, so that was her live just a couple of hours ago. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. This is crazy. I mean, this... Yo, I don't know what to say. If there was any way to get to this woman, if I were her, I would probably hire. I mean, why handle all this on your own? You know, she clearly makes a huge income on YouTube. Why, if it's like, why do that to yourself to a certain degree? Why? I don't know. At the same time, I feel like she sees herself as a victim of a lot of things, but at the same time, she's put herself in situations. So it's just very hard to kind of balance and what to even make an opinion of her. I don't know. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. If I was too harsh, please let me know. I don't know, guys. I am out. Rabbits out.